Left my girlfriend of 3 years because she wanted to remain a virgin. Now she wants to get back together, but told me she was intimate with someone else during our breakup. I bumped into Ellie again 5 months later. I learned a lot through that experience and believe that I'm a little less naive than I was. Many of you said I would see Ellie, now 22, female, again. You were right. If you recall from my previous posts, my ex, Ellie, and I mutually agreed to be no contact after some drama on her part at the urging of Redditors. I also blocked her to help maintain no contact. I've been working since February as a graduate engineer and it's been everything I hoped it would be. I'm meeting amazing, smart people, learning so much every day, and I'm finally earning a salary after years of being a broke student. Having a little money in the bank and being able to afford to do things like eating out is such a nice change. When I finished uni in November, I moved in with my brother temporarily. He just broken up with his ex and needed help with his rent. That's where I was living when Ellie last came to see me. He found a new housemate, and since his place was on the wrong side of the CBD for my job, I moved into a share house in the southeast of Melbourne. The place is a bit rundown, but the rent is reasonable and there are lots of pubs, bars and restaurants nearby. The location and my housemates have been great. I'm seeing someone. I'll call her Olivia. She's the sister of one of my housemates. We met when my housemates and I had a barbecue and she dropped by. We got talking and were still talking hours later until everyone else had left. Her brother told us to shut the heck up so he could get some sleep. I asked her out that week and we've been closed since. My housemate, her brother, has been making fun of us ever since, including more than a few crude jokes when she stays over. We agreed to be exclusive 6 weeks ago, so it's still quite new. She's so cool and smart and gorgeous. The chemistry was instant and intense from the moment we met. We just clicked so well. It's such a great time when we're together. Olivia is an accountant at a big firm. One of Olivia's workmates was having a party last month, and she asked me to come to meet some of her work friends. We went inside and Olivia introduced me to the woman who hosted the party. Her workmate, Jess. There would have been maybe 40 to 50 people there. I didn't know anyone but Olivia. At one point, I offered to grab more drinks. The kitchen was in a separate room as I was getting them. A guy asked me to pass him a beer from the fridge. I introduced myself and he said, "Hi, I'm Tim." Fake name for my last post. He actually said his unusual name. We chatted a couple of minutes about our jobs and how we know Jess. Then I just said, "Nice to meet you," and returned to the group. I didn't recognize his face as I'd never met him before, but it was definitely at least him. His job and firm line up and he looked in his 30s, a bit older than most people at the party. Neither of us mentioned Ellie when we were talking. Later on I asked Jess how she knew Tim. She said she used to work at the same firm as Tim, also where Ellie works, but she moved to another employer, where Olivia works. Despite living in a city of 5 million, it's still a small world. On the tram ride home, I must have been quiet because Olivia asked what was on my mind. I said that Tim guy at the party was, or maybe still is, my ex-boyfriend. I said I didn't think he knew who I was, or if he did, he didn't say anything. That prompted me to share some history about me and Ellie. Olivia was wide-eyed and said, "You never told me you had your V card." Then she laughed and said, "Well, we took care of that." She asked if I had any feelings for Ellie, and I truthfully said no. I dealt with all that months ago. More recently, there was a formal charity dinner that Olivia was asked to support. Her employer was a sponsor of the event. She was keen to show me off. We were at a table with a bunch of her work colleagues, nice people. One of her work friends was so excited to meet you. Me and Olivia can't stop talking about you. That made me feel really good. After dinner, a few of us were chatting and I got a tap on the shoulder. I turned around and to my surprise, it was Ellie. Tim was with her. It was so weird to see her again. Tim said he remembered meeting me at that party, but never made the connection to Ellie until just now. She must have told him about me. Ellie looked very different. She had lost a lot of weight and was very slim. The tight red dress she was wearing made that obvious. Her dad would not approve. Not that she was ever overweight, but I'd never seen her that thin before. She was immaculately made up with what looked to my ignorance like expensive jewelry. She changed her hair to now blonde instead of her natural auburn. She looked like a sleek, rich girl, not the poor pastor's daughter. I remember. Don't get me wrong, she looked amazing, but she looked like a different person. I know it was a formal event, so we were all dressed nicely. But this was a major transformation. Despite her glam looks, when I saw her, I didn't feel anything for her. Just nothing. Ellie said she was so glad to see me, and she had some news, holding out her hand to show a diamond engagement ring. I know nothing about diamonds, but it looked pretty big and expensive to me. I offered my congratulations to them both. Just then, Olivia walked back over. I introduced her to Ellie and Tim. Olivia put her arm around me and Ellie's smile seemed to kind of freeze. I didn't really know what else to say, so I just said, "Nice to see you again," and wished them all the best for the wedding. Tim walked off and Ellie just sort of stood there a moment. It was awkward. Later on, as we were leaving, Ellie was staring at us as we walked out. Olivia said later that I think she still has a thing for you. I said, "It doesn't matter anyway." Cut 2. A few days ago, my brother messaged me, saying Ellie stopped by looking for me. Yes, read it. You were right. He knew to not share my new address with her. So all he said is I've moved out. Next day I received an email from an address I hadn't seen before. It was Ellie. No acknowledgement that she was breaking our agreement to be no contact. No mention. She stopped by my old place. It said it was so great to see you again. I've missed you. And that girl you were with is pretty. How serious is it? And telling me she and Tim have big plans for their wedding next year and she hopes I can come. I was annoyed because she is trying to make her life my business again, despite promising no contact, even going to the trouble to make a new email address to get around me blocking her. I showed Olivia the email and she rolled her eyes and asked me to think about why my ex would send me that. Why indeed. Olivia is great at cutting through bullshit and reads people way better than I do. Ellie can't have me back. I'm in a relationship now. Plus she's engaged, And it's not like I would go to their wedding. Who goes to their ex's wedding? It wouldn't be right. I don't know why she's trying to contact me, but I can guess that she wants to use me for emotional support again. Or maybe things are rocky with Tim. Who knows? Whatever she wants, it's not happening. She has family and friends. She can talk to them. I deleted the email and blocked the address without replying. Ellie promised to keep out of contact and just couldn't help herself. I still intend to keep my word. No contact, even if she doesn't. I've also set up a filter to send any email containing her name to the bin. Olivia and I had a talk after that. I asked if she was concerned about the Ellie thing, but she said no, she's not worried. She didn't get serial killer vibes from Ellie. I'm glad none of this has put her off me. So nothing too dramatic. But it does prove you guys were right. Ellie could not contact me despite promising to do so. I was able to sidestep her much more easily than last time. Ultimately, this is a good news story. Life is so great right now. I've got a cool new girlfriend, a fun place to live and a new career I love. It has been easy to leave Ellie behind.